Welcome to the Zoopedia Podcast, where animal lovers unite. I'm Estefania, and in each episode, we'll dive into the amazing Planet Zoo Zoopedia to learn more about animals, big and small. So let's begin. In this episode, get ready for the beautiful Addax. The Addax is a critically endangered species, and its population in the wild is estimated to be only 100. Yes, you heard right. 100. That's the only number of individuals that we currently have in the wild for the Addax. Really low, right? Let's see why. The Addax is a species of antelope that lives in remote areas of the Sahara Desert. Having historically lived throughout North Africa, they are now only found in areas in Niger and Chad. The Addax is cream, white, or sandy in color, with brown markings around the face and the muzzle. Both sexes have dark, twisted horns. Their horns are very characteristic, which is why they are sometimes called the screw-horn antelope. Addaxes can achieve a body length of 3.9 feet to 4.3 feet. Males are usually taller and heavier than females, standing 3.4 to 3.7 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing 220 to 298 pounds. Their horns are generally longer and thicker than females. Females are usually smaller, 3.1 feet to 3.6 feet tall, and weight between 132 and 198 pounds. So they do have marked sexual dimorphism, and their horns tend to be shorter as well. As a critically endangered species, it is estimated that fewer than 100 addaxes survive in the wild. The addax has been, unfortunately, driven close to extinction by overhunting. It is a large and slow-moving species, which makes it easy to hunt as a source of food or for its valuable leather. Parts of its present range are located close to an oil site, meaning its habitat is being further degraded. Conservation efforts focus on extensive breeding programs that reintroduce and monitor new addax herds in order to increase their numbers in the wild and to decrease poaching and roadkill fatalities. That's very important. We should support conservation efforts for the addax. Only 100 of them remain in the wild and they are critically endangered. If we go to their natural habitat, we can see that they live in Africa, in the regions of Niger and Chad, and you can see how limited their extension currently is. There are only 100 individuals, and they're located in very specific regions, in the desert biome. They live in a temperature range between 3 and 45 degrees Celsius, because the desert can get really cool at nights and really hot in the day, so that's why the range is so wide. Now for the species data. Let's check their social needs. Addaxes live in herds of 10 to 25 members, which can be composed of different structures. They can have males and females of all ages. They can have harems of one dominant male and several unrelated females and their offspring, their babies. Or they can also have single-sex bachelor groups, so they tolerate different structures very well. In captivity, addaxes are commonly kept in harem groups, of course, to encourage reproduction and conservation efforts. Now for reproduction. It is difficult to observe natural reproductive behavior in addaxes, as wild herds are often very small or have been reintroduced from captivity. Therefore, this information is based on captive breeding observations and other closely related antelope species. Addax bulls have territories and attempt to herd any females roaming through them into their harems. While addaxes breed year-round, birds peak during winter and spring. The dominant male monitors all females in his group. If the female is receptive, he will attempt to initiate mating. Pregnancy lasts 8.5 to 9 months. That's something to keep in mind. Interesting tip. Their pregnancy lasts almost the same as a human pregnancy, 9 months. After which, the female will give birth to a calf, though occasionally twins, but usually one. The calves are weaned between 5 and 9 months of age, usually by the time the mother is pregnant again. At 2 years old, Addax males reach sexual maturity, and they leave their natal group to establish their own territory, or join a bachelor herd if unable to do so. Females reach sexual maturity at 2 to 3 years old, basically the same as the male 2 to 3 years old, a little bit later, and leave their group to join an unrelated male's harem. Interesting, right? We can also see that their life expectancy is 22 years old, and they can tolerate a group size of, in Planet Zoo, of between 2 and 25 individuals, up to 1 male, up to 24 females. Their mating system is polygynous, and their maturation rules is matrilineal. Mature males related to the alpha become outsiders. Guests will flee from the Addax, and their age of sexual maturity is 3 years old. Their interbirth period is 10 months. Now, let's go to my favorite section of the podcast, the fun facts. Fun fact number 1. The Addax dips itself in the sand in shady areas to rest and avoid the sun. Interesting, right? So they do have that instinct to survive in the desert. Fun fact number 2. Addaxes have specially adapted flat hooves that allow them to walk effectively on the sand. The Addax barely ever needs to drink and gets almost all the water it requires from its diet of desert grasses. Interesting, right? It makes sense since they're in the desert, so they've adapted to get the water from the grass that they eat. Fun fact number 4. The Addax is one of the slowest antelopes, perhaps due to its adaptations that help it to traverse sandy terrain. So that has also been one of the causes why they are critically endangered, because they walk slowly, so they're easy to hunt, unfortunately. And fun fact number 5, the Addax coat lightens in the summer and darkens in the winter to adapt to the temperature range. Interesting, right? So they do change their coat to adapt to the season. And in Planet Zoo, we have interspecies enrichment. The Addax can cohabitate with the common ostrich, with the dama gazelle, with the dromedary camel, and with Somali wild ass. Really interesting, right? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Zoopedia Podcast. I'll see you in the next episode.